big round of applause. Can we have Abhishek Ballabji, who is the co-founder, Extra Edge, will be presenting his industry presentation. A big round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone. So let me start by telling you a small anecdote that has nothing to relate with this presentation. Today I took a Careem and came here. I came from India, I took a Careem and came here. Yesterday, I watched something on Netflix. A month back, I rented a new home in Pune where I belong to, and from this website called No Broker. I'm a very fitness freak, so generally I buy clothes from Decathlon, and I buy it primarily online. I'm a very big fan of buying books, and instead of going to a crossword or bookstore, I generally go to Amazon and buy books online. Now, how many of you here on the current in the room, right, have had these online experiences probably in the past 1 month, maybe every one of you? Now, when I was growing up, my dad used to take me to the vegetable shop to buy vegetables, or we used to take autos and go from autos from here and there. We used to buy clothes in a particular market, and we used to go there. What's fundamentally happening in a consumer world today is that how a buyer and seller is interacting with each other has fundamentally changed and has become digital first. And these digital experiences are very, very critical in the journey of a buyer. So what's the story linked to what I'm going to speak today? I think about it. In a journey of a kid buying a course, what's the first interaction they have with the course builder, or be it a university, be it an institute, be it a vocational? That's exactly admissions. And that's the first touch point which these parents and Gen Z, they want to have this kind of consumer great experience which they have with an Amazon, which they have with probably an Deliveroo, or which they have with a Netflix or a Careem. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. My name is Abhi. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Extra Edge. Extra Edge is a dedicated sales and marketing software for education brands. I have spent most of my years being a data scientist with HSBC. Spent most of my years in London working for global consulting and M&A side. And then I joined a global unicorn called Mindtickle, where I was a product manager, where we build sales products. So all my life, I have done machine learning, data science, and build products. So how it is linked with education? Now, if you look at education today and the recent trends, what we call in the industry, right? So these are the few trends which we all are exposed to. First of all, there is increasing competition. Second, the students' expectations are changing by very, very higher limit. And finally, digital is a need of the hour. I will not talk about what COVID did. We all know what COVID did to us. It just accelerated the adoption and the go-to market, right? So every business has a go-to market. And if you think about education, sales, and marketing, the go-to market for the first time became digital first from being more conventional, event-driven, print, PR, radio, and television. Whenever in an industry, right, there's a go-to market change, there's a paradigm shift of how things are being transacted. And that's exactly what has happened with education in the last couple of years. And let me tell you what has happened. So what are the core challenges which we see in higher kind of ed today? It's the same old student admission experience that people are trying to give them. They send them emails, text messages, they make them calls. Is it tailor-made or not is the first question. Second is that, we do not Gillette Mac 3, the greatest razor blade in all times. They give the ad all across the year. They have ads all across the year, right? They are the category leader, but still they want to be in the mind space of the buyer. But marketing and admission are seen still as a cyclical job in any higher ed. It's a consistent brand building across the year, and that's effective and on-time communication. Finally, what course is selling well? Which course is not selling well? Do I need to open a new course? Do I need to open program? Which programs need to be canned? Which new geographies needs to be attacked, right? Which channels are working for me? Should I keep on spending money on a publisher or a Google AdWords, or should I probably do physical events? How do you know that? You will only be able to know that if you have data year on year about it. And finally, I came onto your website yesterday, filled a form. It was a Friday evening. Now you are communicating to me on Monday afternoon. Probably I'll get time to speak to my dad only on the weekends, but I'm not getting any communication from you because you're waiting for Monday to offices open. That's not what a 22-year-old expecting. He's expecting that he has inquired, he needs information as of now. Be it a person, be it a chat bot, whatnot, right? He wants the same experience what he gets from Amazon today. These are the top challenges that are across the globe that we are seeing today. So how do we think about it? So as I told you, not talk about me much, but Extra Edge helps solve some of these challenges and make universities across the globe be ready into their go-to-market engines. That's what we do. Quickly, so I spoke about challenges, right? But then how do we think about it? How do we solve for it? And what should be a thought process behind that? And thought process is very, very simple, that it's not only creating a digital experience, because today courses are sold primarily on the upper side when somebody finally talks to someone. So it needs to be a digital experience with a human touch. And how do you enable that digital experience with a human touch? And there are ways to do that, right? So I'm not here standing and telling me everything is digital. No, you need to have a human touch, because course buying and selling is a career-making initiative which needs to be human-led, but with digital experience. So let's look at how experience should be. And I'm talking about Netflix experience, right? 2 clicks, 3 clicks. So going digital first. Assets across the website, landing pages, website, social. I think most of you are already doing that, right? But making sure that each and every experience is built for mobile first audience is very, very critical, very, very important. And finally, making sure that the engagement with the kid or the parent is the engagement how we have with an Amazon or Netflix, or probably from all these kind of amazing consumer brands. Fast, sharp, very, very focused and tailor-made. Moving on to it, effective and on-time communication, right? You go to a mobile app of Amazon and just apply for a refund, you'll get a call within 40 seconds or 30 seconds. That's our expectation, 30 seconds, right? That's what people expect today from any kind of consumer brand. And education products are, at the end of the day, a consumer brand. You're selling to a buyer, a seller who needs these kind of consumer experiences. So relevant messaging. Will you be sending the same message to a kid from Bihar, to a kid in Dubai, to a kid who's a son of an NRI expat in Saudi, or to a kid in Karnataka or Tamil Nadu? No. But more or less, you are sending the same communication to all these 4 kids and expecting that they all will respond to you. They will not, actually. And by the way, till you have realized it, somebody has solved for it and they go there. And by the way, we all need to remember that education is an irreversible cyclical process. If I apply for a PGDM or MBA in one place, I'll go and do, I'm not going anywhere else mostly. Right? So you get one chance there. And finally, using comms which your students use, right? Quora, Instagram, WhatsApp. Do you have a strategy on that or not? Is very, very critical, very, very important. Finally, this is a term in B2B we use and consumer called lead leakage. What it means is that somebody is knocking at your door, but you're not opening the door. And they're keeping on knocking, and then just probably somebody else opens the door and you go through that door, right? And the door is a single way door. There's no entry back from there. So have you really understood your student journey like a consumer brand has understood you, like an Apple or an Amazon understands you? And that will only happen where you have a very clear sight or line of sight of how this kid is approaching you across social, offline, online, and digital. And finally, making sure that subject matter expert in your own admission recruitment teams speaks to a kid. So if you're applying for a certificate program or a PGDM or a 4-year integrated program, there are 3 different people who have expertise. He should be or she should be speaking to them and not to a generic guy who's throwing generic kind of colloquial terms to you. And finally, last but not the least, right? A lot of CXOs and CEOs, they create reports. They build reports. Your job is not to build and create reports. Your job is to take decisions from those reports and insights. So you need ready analysis across 4 areas: your product, your channels, your people, and across your own enrollment quotas that you have across the year. And that's very critical, very, very important. We work with more than 350 organizations across the globe, and I still see established brands struggling with this. So what happens when you get this right? So if we solve for all of these, what happens? What happens is that you see some of these things. Your applications increase. You find out new channels through which kids are reaching out to you, and you're winning there. And you see increase at the end of the day in your conversion goals. And that's the whole idea. So how we help as Extra Edge Education Institutes get these numbers? Using a suite of products. I will not talk about it. I'm across 2 days in this conference. I'll speak to some of you. But we solve for these problems. And if I have to say or leave one message, we help your brands get digital ready in a digital go-to-market if you're selling a course today. Finally, more than 300 odd institutes across the globe trust us. We are a very major force in Dubai and UAE. We have more than quite a few presence and penetration across Abu Dhabi and Middle East. We understand the space very, very well. We understand how, an expat community works and how they think about their buying decisions in these communities. So we know this very, very well, right? Finally, we work with a lot of these, and we do not only work with university and group of institutes, we also work with overseas schools and vocational and skilling. So I saw people from vocational and skilling across the segment and power them. Finally, I will end this thought is that in a digital go-to-market world, right, the only player that ends up winning and winning consistently is a player who have really understood how their buyer personas have changed with the changing landscape of how you start to brand, position, and differentiate yourself in a highly competitive market. There are 3 things about education which are very, very unique. The decision is irreversible. Once you take, you go for it. Second, it's cyclical. And 3, right, it's irrespective of a pandemic, non-pandemic, people will invest in healthcare and education. These 3 unique things make it very, very interesting. At the same time, it's highly competitive because every university or a vocational has a competitor today. So if you marry all these 4 points that I've said, right, you need to have fast go-to-market readiness. And that's what Extra Edge helps you do, helps you to get to product market fit and give you absolute go-to-market readiness in your first digital touch point. That's your admission process. So with that, thank you very much for being patient, audience. And I can probably take questions if it's allowed, but thank you very much.